win the title in the ice, the final competition of this night. And Kristi Yamaguchi, maybe the final time we'll see her in a competitive situation. She just trails Yuka Sato after the technical program. So Scott and Sandra back with us, and guys, I think this night is a night to savor, really, because it may be the last time we see Kristi. She's going to wind down next year, wants to spend more time with her husband, Brett Hedican, who plays for the NHL Florida Panthers. Yuka's launching a pairs career. This may be the last time we can really savor them going head-to-head.
Well, Kristi said earlier, never say never. You know, she'll never announce anything official, but I think a lot of people are looking at this being a very important year for Kristi. We're not sure if she's going to come back and tour again after this year. And competitively, this is a 4-year hiatus she took, and that's a big deal. The event needed somebody of her marquee to really carry the event, and she said, I love this sport. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to, even though I don't really like to compete head-to-head anymore, I'm going to do it for professional skating.
And what she's been thinking about in the last 2 days is a strategy on how to win this competition. Even though she has absolutely nothing to prove in her career, she's still trying to figure out what can she do to make the judges enjoy her best. And what she's decided to do is something more traditional and more conservative. And Scott and I have been discussing this for 2 days and wondering what the judges would like. They seem to be responding to something different, and yet all the girls have chosen something pretty.
Well, Kristi was deciding.
Yuka, of course.
Yuka's got a beautiful program tonight. But finishing up the thought on Kristi, she had 2 programs that she was debating over. One, a Janet Jackson piece, very high energy, and then gold, something that really means a lot to her personally. And watching her perform gold in practice today, it was so powerful and so beautiful in its way that it's like, oh, you can't choose. But with Yuka, who closes the night, who will be the last thought, the last look, as A Color of Roses is just one of her most beautiful pieces that she's ever put together. And she is a skater's skater, and these judges are all skaters and coaches. So it's going to be a very tight competition. Everyone has to skate their best.
We talk about Yuka and Kristi, but don't forget Lucinda, because she could throw a spin into this.
There you go.
She has magnificent spins, and they appeal to the judges. They remind us that there's way more to skating than just jumps and footwork. And she could get in there and mess things up for the other 2 girls.
Lucinda Rue has the ability to spin like no one you've ever seen on the ice, I would be fair to say. She's practicing a jump there, but it's the spinning that sets her apart from everyone else. And it's been a tough time recently for Lucinda. As you see the standings, virtual tie at the top, and they'll skate in reverse order. Lucinda Rue has lived all over the world. Born in Zurich, Switzerland. She's lived in Japan and China. She's lived in Canada. She's lived in France. But she lives now in New York City, and her apartment is only blocks from ground zero. She was in that apartment on September 11th. She was evacuated, not allowed to go back to her apartment for 3 weeks, and she said it was the toughest thing emotionally she had ever experienced, as you would imagine. But she said sometimes she would just begin to weep. She just couldn't control her emotions, and here she is not that many weeks later competing at the very highest of the professional competition. So Lucinda Rue, quite an outstanding young woman, and hoping to make her mark in professional skating and taking on 2 of the best, Kristi Yamaguchi and Yuka Sato. It's all coming up when we return.